Hey, today's shave is with this stuff. We've got a Stirling Badger, finest quality. The QShave Adjustable, clone of the Merkur Futur. The blade is a Gillette Silver Blue that's been used about 7 times. And the soap is Abbate Mantia. I don't know if I'm butchering that name or not, but Buttero is the scent, and this is an Italian soap. Looks like that it's quite mottled in appearance. Looks very soft, and so I got a feeling I'm not going to be brush loading this tub. Instead, let's take my 1/4 teaspoon measure. Actually, it's not, it is pretty soft. And so I'm just going to kind of scoop up about a 1/4 teaspoon, and we're good to go. Yeah, leathery is definitely the forward scent. Looking forward to that. I'm going to press this into the bottom of my lather bowl and be right back. In case you don't know how to load one of these guys, I'm going to take the GSB, and you just pull up on the top part. It's fastened in there by these two the springs. See how the shape there, the springs hold it in there that way. You can push up on one side if you want, then turn it around, push up on the other, you know. Then you just lay it on the top, and there is a center rail there that sticks up in the middle of the blade, and then 2 end pieces that help to keep it aligned properly. And it does sit there kind of gingerly as you put this on, so to take your time and do that right. And then just press down. Snaps into place. And I'll be starting out at the the slightly lower than mid settings. It's 1 through 6 is the range. So 3.5 technically would be the exact middle setting. And so that's now ready to go. Did add a little bit of water to my face, and let's take this Badger brush, shake most of the water out. It holds quite a bit of water. Now, once you settle on your soap and you're there, and you may want to use it for, you know, a month straight. I mean, who knows? I change soaps very often, but if you're settling on the same soap, then you may want to not shake quite so much water out of your brush. And then that means you just have to add less in this next step, and so that may be good for you. It may help you to get your lather up quicker. Some soaps do appreciate adding water slowly, but a lot of them doesn't really matter too much. So this was a very creamy, very soft soap, very easy to spread. So the brush should have no problem picking all of it up. And look, we're gathering quite a bit of kind of early thick lather, and not, some of the soap hasn't even been picked up yet. So, oh yeah, nice scent. Nice leather scent coming up from there. And let's just start by adding a teaspoon. 2 teaspoons are in it. The lather's coming up nicely, and from what it looks like, we've got plenty of soap for this shave. So maybe I don't need that much I don't need a full 1/4 teaspoon for this particular soap. Lather looks really good. Let's just take a feel. Oh yeah, slick, buttery. That's going to be nice. I've never tried this soap yet, so obviously I bought it used. Nice scent, nice leather coming up from this. I'm about to loan out this razor to somebody who'd like to try it out, and I don't use it too often, and so I wanted to try it before I sent it out so that I could have a fresh viewpoint, a fresh comparison. Maybe this might be all the water we are going to add, 3 teaspoons. Tons of lather. See how it behaves here. Long peak. Look at that, easily holding himself up. Many soaps, that's a little too dry. Holding himself up like that. Yeah, let me add a little bit more water. It still has some, thickness to it. Still making it so that I can't quite. My fingerprint ridges still kind of cushioning me against feeling those in great detail, so don't want it to be too dry. That's getting there. Yep. I think I'm going to add one more. Even 4 teaspoons. I think we'll go with that because we've got a lot in here. And it looks pretty good. throw a little water on my face now. All right, let's do some painting, see what happens. Feels very nice. The scent is nice and strong. I'd say medium strong right now, and that's kind of where I like it. I can enjoy it, it's there, but it's not being obnoxious. Actually, this is maybe a little bit more water. Nice, yeah, it's getting better. Nice soft feel in the brush. Its density is causing it not really to splay too well. And so I may prefer my silver tip brushes to this one because of that. But it is, because see, can you see my cheek kind of get shoved around as I change directions? My lower backbone brushes don't do that to me, and I kind of like that better. Yeah, this definitely needed some more water. So wow, how about that? So I'm going to add another half, maybe a whole nother teaspoon to the lather here. Just mix it up. So that makes this probably a very economical soap in terms of how much you need to use per shave. I mean, maybe that quarter teaspoon measure. Maybe I just need to use half of it, or just a little bit more than half to get 3 passes. That would be cool. A lot of soaps you have to use the whole quarter teaspoon. See how this lather looks. Yeah, look at that elasticity. Now that is usually what I chase after. And see, he's not holding himself up. He just kind of falls over. Those long trails of, yeah, see, that's kind of what I usually look for. Some soaps you can't take to that point because it makes them too wet. So that's pretty impressive. Don't remember the price point for this soap because I often get mine used. All right, and that was definitely the case here. So setting of 3 with a nice, fairly fresh Gillette Silver Blue blade. I forgot that this razor was so vocal, but it's cutting very easily. It may sound almost a little rough, but it's really not at all. You can hear it cutting, but you almost can't feel it cutting. Very nice. These are cheap. They're like maybe $13, $15 on Amazon. That's where I got mine. And I probably have only used it, you know, 3 times or something like that. Because I just don't quite go for the futuristic, usually, design. Wow. Very good shave. Very comfortable. Nice sharp blade in it, and apparently this blade works really well in this razor, which is pretty cool. Let me rinse this up. Hey, to tell you the truth, I can walk away from this shave if I wanted to. One pass just worked really well. It was so comfortable, zero tugging for me. I'm going to dial it back. I'm going to dial it down to a 2 for the rest of the shave, because I just don't need any more cutting at that level. I'm sure it'd be comfortable, but let's make it more smooth, right? All right, so I threw a little bit. I left a little bit of water on my face. Tons of lather. We'll just leave it at that right there. All right, cross grain now. Very smooth. Wow, just in terms of comfort and efficiency, man, if I like this style, I can see myself using this and enjoying it on a very regular basis. Nice glide. This soap is tremendous. Razor just moving real easy. Nothing like irritation being generated at all. All right, let me rinse. I'm about to start my 3rd pass. And I've probably got 3 or 4 more passes of lather in the bowl. This is a nice economical soap. Just doesn't take much to do what you need. Pre-soaked this brush for, I don't know, maybe 6 minutes prior to the shave. Maybe try to soften it up a little bit, because the backbone's been a little bit more than I might like. It's new though, and hopefully it'll kind of gradually splay and open up a little bit more. Oh, the scent here. It's almost like it's got a sandalwood in there as well. I like it. I like it a lot. So this is a pretty smooth handle. It's the matte finish. It's not polished. Let's see how it feels, how secure it feels if I have soapy hands. You know, it is slippery. I could see myself dropping it if I wasn't careful, but it's not too bad. And so I could see you still being able to grip it. And then you discover, hey, that's a little too soapy. So then you stop, you pause, and you rinse it off under the faucet. And so it's still got the grip to let you do that safely. And then now that it's rinsed, it's very grippy. just a little mild razor here to polish everything off, because that first pass was just so good. Kind of screaming through everything. A little bit of blade feel. That mild setting coming in handy, and my neck where I was right around here to not stir up irritation as I kind of did cross grain. And then when I get to the end of that stroke, I start to get into a couple of swirls that are kind of that make it against the grain if I keep going. And less nice razors, more rough razors will kind of ding me right there, maybe stir up a little bit of irritation. But this one was nice and smooth and mild to do that. It's quite noisy compared to most of the razors that I like. And that's probably because the bottom of the blade is not supported right toward the edge. Obviously you can see the top is, but the bottom's a little farther away. Looks like maybe 6 or 7 millimeters might be a guess as to how much the blade is hanging past its support on the bottom. And so that a lot of times will cause the noise. Nice feel. Happy with the shave. Let's rinse off. So these rinses weren't really a high viscosity type of rinse like a lot of the lathers that shaving soaps give me. It was more like a silky soft feel on the skin with kind of just a buttery smoothness, a thin layer of buttery smoothness over it. So it felt really, really good. Might try another razor with this soap and see if it just gives a slightly different performance, leaves maybe a different amount of hair on the face, and that might give a different feel. But it's just this soap and this blade and this razor were all just terrific matches to just give me a great skin feel even after the very first pass. And I don't have any irritation. Face feels great. Rinsed fairly quickly. Man, I am happy with that. What kind of closeness? Yeah, that's top shelf closeness there. That's really good for me. I don't see any length at all in any of the hairs in my trouble spot area. I don't feel any irritation. But let's go ahead and throw on some... Let's do some Executive Man by Stirling today. We'll see how that goes with leather. Nah, you know what? I think this cherry might be an interesting attempt with leather. It's a wild cherry type scent that I've become fond of lately. Just as a kind of a general purpose scent. That's my go-to because it's got a little bit of spiciness or twanginess in it that kind of keep it from being just kind of a candy cherry. So we'll see how that goes with leather. I have no idea. Could be that the Executive Man would have been a much better choice. So we'll see. Probably didn't need to put this much on, but yeah, I didn't. Oh well. So wow, this is excellent. What a good soap. I am impressed. My first try with it. I don't know how many scents they offer, but I'm going to check it out. And wow, you get 5 ounces. Yeah. Very nice. Shaving soap saponified with saffron and wheat germ oil. That's maybe one of their things. So I am impressed. Very good. All right. This lather is just perfect for this, for my preferences. I just like it this wet. It's so wet, it's just falling in on itself. And look how elastic, but it's still holding itself together and protecting me really well. I'm happy with that. I do have just a little bit of irritation that is kind of cropped up right around here. Very minimal, probably be done by the time, I probably won't feel it by the time I'm done cleaning up. Yeah, sandalwood and leather is kind of what I'm getting. And maybe the leather's tweaking the wood a little bit. Maybe it's more of a normal wood or cedar or something like that. But then the leather's making me kind of get a sandalwood feel. And so I like that. I really like this scent a lot. It's not a super dense lather. It's got a little bit of air in it. But, you know, I don't care how it does its job. But I know it does its job really well. So, very, very happy with this whole setup today. It's a pretty dense knot. There's a lot of hairs in there. And as you can see, it's already bloomed quite a bit, as in opening up. And so I did feel a little bit of kind of shoving and pushing because there's some backbone there. But I think this is a great badger knot to get people started. Because a lot of people don't like it quite as soft as I do in terms of the backbone. I think a lot of people are going to be happy with this Stirling knot. Now, I like the bulb shape, and that's what this is. The fan shape, instead of being this curved, it opened up more like that. And so some people may like that better. And who knows, if this guy keeps with this backbone level, I might prefer the fan shape as well. But I think a lot of people it's a great starting point for badgers and nice soft badgers. And so then you could use that to say as a reference point, nope, that's perfect. That's the way I like it. I'm happy here. And it's a pretty low cost jump into the badger world, and a great performance. Really happy with it. Just maybe a little too stiff for my taste at this point, but it is young. Maybe it'll relax a little bit more with time. All right. So the 3 setting here gave me a nice mid-range shave. It was very comfortable, but still also being very efficient. And I don't really see any need to go higher than a 3 for me. Even if I had 3 or 4 days of growth, I'm pretty confident that 3 would just still be not a problem to take off the growth. And I usually do that. A lot of times I'll still come at 3-day growth with a mild razor, and because there's enough passes. There's 3 passes, and so maybe the first pass doesn't do quite as well as it usually does, but then the second pass more than makes up for it, and the third is just clean up. And so that's kind of my standard anyway, with other razors too, and I believe it would be fine with this one. So this blade worked really well in this little razor. And so here's just a little close up. The posts go right in those holes, and these long things are actually springs, these thin things, and so they keep that top cap on. And so I just like to run the towel in these drain grooves, just kind of dry everything off for storage. And so that was I wouldn't have a problem if this was my shaver for the rest of my life, stuck on a desert island with just this, because it was enjoyable. It was nice. I might not like the contemporary futuristic type of look, but it's a good, fun, quality shaver, and the results speak for themselves. So is this razor a violation of copyright laws or anything like that? Because it's a little bit smaller than the actual Merkur Futur that it's based off of. And I don't even know if I'm saying Futur right, but it looks like maybe instead of saying future, the way it's spelled, and it's German, makes me think maybe Futur is the right way to say it. But the Futur is a little bit heavier, maybe just a little bit longer and thicker in girth here. And so they didn't copy it exactly, but from what I understand, the patent expired on their Merkur's razor, and so then people, other companies were able to kind of basically make their own copies and sell them, and I'm fine with that. This is just I find the quality to be very acceptable, pretty equivalent with Merkur's anyway, because it's not, their version's not made of stainless steel, it's made of Zamac with coatings as well, and so that's the same thing as this. So why not get one a little cheaper? I think at one point those Merkurs were like $60 or $70. I'd much rather pay $13 or $15. So that's just me. All right. I'm pretty sure I used 5.5 teaspoons of water for this lather. And so a little bit more than 1/4 teaspoon was used of the soap. And so I could definitely reduce that. Maybe, you know, a little bit more than half of that teaspoon, that 1/4 teaspoon measure might be about what I try next. And then of course we could maybe try out 2.5 teaspoons of water, 3 teaspoons of water, something like that, and see how that went. Maybe be a little bit more stingy with the soap, make it last longer, and that pretty impressive. So because you can use so little and get your shave, even if this soap costs $25, even $30 per tub, especially when you're getting 5 ounces instead of the usual 4, that actually, I'll have to look up the price point, and I'll add it maybe in the comments. It may make it a pretty economical soap when compared to folks like Holy Cow, Barrister and Mann, even Stirling. It's probably right around where Stirling is, because with Stirling you have to use the full 1/4 teaspoon of soap. So wow, this may end up to be a really nice soap in my bin. So I'm happy with that. So sure enough, I was right about the irritation. It's gone. Feels great. Done with my cleanup. Face is just cut really well. Nice close cut. The combination of the cherry aftershave balm with the leathery and woody soap, not so great. At least it doesn't jump out at me at first as a good combination. However, it might be one of those acquired tastes where at some point down the road I'm like, hey, I kind of missed that. So I'm gonna leave it open for now. But yeah, I kind of wish I'd tried the Executive Man and tried that, because that's an Aventus clone, and I think that might have been a nice pairing with woody and leathery. So I'm going to try that next time if I can remember. Super happy about the shave. I think I've said that already. Everything did really well. So there we go. The razor is a little bit noisier than I personally prefer, but the cut was just tremendous. Even after the first pass, face just felt really good. I did not have an average amount of growth today, probably 18 to 20 hours of growth instead of 24. So it was a little shorter than usual. Some might say that makes it more difficult to get a good cut, but it is what it is. So there we go. I hope there was something about this shave that helped you out, and sure was enlightening for me. I really enjoy this brand of soap, as it turns out. Happy to discover that. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care. Have a good night.